Hello everyone. Welcome back to... I'm Peter, and honestly, today is a bit of a heavy day for me.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alicia. Peter, I can see it in your eyes. You've been staring at your laptop for 20 minutes, but you haven't typed a single word. Is it the big meeting this afternoon? Is it that obvious?
Yes, it's the meeting. And the phone. Alicia, every time the office phone rings and I see an international number, my heart it stops. I feel like a child who forgot his homework.
Why do we completely forget vocabulary the moment someone picks up the phone? The secret lies in a brain defense mechanism you may not be aware of.
I hear you. It's not just about the English, is it? It's that feeling of being found out. Like, if you don't understand a native speaker on the phone, they'll think you're not good at your job.
Exactly. This morning, my boss said, "Peter, can you break the ice at the start of the call with the New York team?" I just nodded, but inside, I was screaming. How do I break the ice when I can't even remember how to say, "How are you?" without sounding like a robot?
We've all been there. We spend years learning grammar, but no one teaches us how to survive the first 30 seconds of a call. You're afraid of the silence, right?
The silence is terrifying, but the noise is worse. When they start talking fast, using slang, I just want to hang up. I know it's unprofessional, but the urge to disappear is so strong.
It's a survival instinct, Peter. Your brain sees that English phone call as a tiger. You want to run, but running makes the fear grow.
So what do I do? I have to go into that room in 2 hours. I'm scared I'll just sit there, look at my notebook, and never speak up.
We're going to look at why this happens. It's not your English level, Peter. It's your safety mode. Let's talk about what's actually happening in your head before you lose your mind.
I hope so, because right now, the tiger is winning.
But how can you actually start your day without feeling nervous when you walk into the office? The final part will cover the smallest steps you can take starting tomorrow.
Okay, Peter, let's be honest. When you're in a meeting and you hear someone say, "Peter, what's your opinion on this?" What is the very first thought in your head?
My first thought? It's don't make a mistake. I'm so busy checking my grammar in my head that the conversation moves on without me. By the time I've built a perfect sentence, they're already talking about something else.
That's the grammar prison. You're trying to be a perfectionist in a world that just wants you to be a communicator.
But Alicia, in business, you have to get the point. If I use the wrong tense, won't they think I'm unprofessional?
Honestly? No. Most people just want to understand your idea. They don't care about your prepositions. Think about it. If a foreign partner speaks broken English but has a great solution, do you judge them?
No. I actually respect them for trying.
So why don't you give yourself that same respect? You're so afraid of the social death that you're killing your own career by staying silent.
It's hard to change that mindset. Yesterday, I had to answer the phone. A woman from London asked about the turnaround time. I knew the word, but I froze. I just said, "Yes, soon, bye." I felt so stupid after I had to hang up.
You didn't freeze because you're stupid. You froze because you didn't have a script for chaos. You need phrases that buy you time. Instead of soon, you could say, "Could you repeat that slowly? I want to make sure I have the right details."
Buy me time. I like that. It feels like I'm in control, not the phone.
Exactly. You don't need to be Shakespeare. You just need to be a person who isn't afraid to say, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that."
I've been so focused on being perfect that I forgot to be human.
But how can you actually start your day without feeling nervous when you walk into the office? The final part will cover the smallest steps you can take starting tomorrow.
So, Alicia, the meeting is in an hour. I'm still nervous, but it feels different now. Less like a tiger, more like a difficult puzzle.
That's progress, Peter. Before you go in, just take a deep breath. Seriously, your brain needs oxygen to find those words you've hidden away.
I'll try, and I've written down 3 simple ways to break the ice. Just simple things like, "How is the weather in New York?" Or, "I'm glad we could meet today." It doesn't have to be deep, right?
Not at all. Small talk is the bridge to big talk. And if you get lost during the meeting, Just take a deep breath again and ask for a moment to check your notes. It's okay to be slow.
I think I've been my own worst boss, always shouting at myself for not being fluent.
We are all learning, Peter. Even native speakers stumble over their words when they're nervous. The goal isn't to stop being afraid. The goal is to speak up even when your voice shakes.
Even when my voice shakes. I like that. It feels realistic. I don't think I'll be a superstar today, but maybe I can just be Peter, the guy who tried.
And that, Peter, is enough. To everyone listening, we want to know, what is the one thing that makes you freeze at work? Is it the phone, the meetings, or the break the ice moments?
Share your stories in the comments. We read them all, and it helps to know we aren't alone in this silent growth journey.
Don't forget to subscribe if this helped you feel a little less alone today. We'll see you in the next story.
Goodbye, everyone. You've got this.